This will be the final episode in the Ernest Kaufman serial. You will learn about his serious wounding when he is shot during a German ambush. You will witness his extensive recovery period, a return to duty, his ultimate medical retirement, and his successful transition to civilian life. Let us join Mr. Kaufman as he continues his story.
Of course, the cavalry moved on. We come into a place called Wernigerode. That was by then the 11th of April, and this was the 8th of April was Einbeck. The 11th of April, we take the town of Wernigerode in Thuringia. We took it the night before, we were bivouacked there, and the next morning I'm on my way to City Hall to talk to the mayor about to give the mayor instructions about where civilians were to turn in their firearms and give them some instructions of what we expected the population to do. And on the way there, right in the middle of the walk towards the City Hall, we were ambushed by two SS men who obviously had either hidden in town the night before, during the night, or sneaked back in the morning. We were taken in crossfire, and the intelligence officer of the 113th, who was with me, and two MPs, returned fire. I returned fire too. I thought I did. I thought I hit one of the guys. But the MPs didn't get hurt, but Captain Hutton, the intelligence officer of the cavalry, and I were both wounded. And I only remember being dragged into a doorway someplace near there, and I heard a woman say, "Oh, that is terrible." That I still remember in German. I was out. That was it. That was the end of the war for me. I was shot in my back. I had a collapsed lung and some shattered ribs and a completely shattered left arm. And I woke up a week later in the VAC hospital and with a purple heart pinned to my bed sheet. And from there I was shipped to England and was in a military hospital near Exeter in England for almost 3 months. I had my left arm in traction and my chest wounds took about close to 2 months to heal and close up. Well, the war was over in the 8th of May, but I didn't get home stateside until the 23rd of July. And I came home on the hospital ship and ended up at Atlantic City at Thomas England General Hospital, which at the time was considered to be an orthopedic hospital. Joyous reunion with my sister and my girlfriend. And of course, at the time, my girlfriend and I thought, why wait? We did get married the 29th of July. In other words, a week after I came home from overseas after 2 years. Then came convalescence. Well, anyhow, I went to Rutgers, put 2 6-week convalescent leaves together, and took a course in poultry husbandry. Poultry farms in those days were pretty plentiful in New Jersey. Why not a poultry farm? 2 reasons. One, I'd get to work with animals, and another one was, at the time, I didn't know what my parents' fate was. I ended up in Valley Forge in the convalescent center. During that time, Congress passed a law that anyone who had served 18 months or longer and was injured in combat could get promoted. Well, I was captain then, and on the basis of that congressional law, I was promoted to major. Well, I still wasn't well. Basically, when I was operated on, the doctors told me, look, it's going to take at least 5 years before you can expect to be as well as you can ever hope to be. And there's not much you can do about it except wait it out. Well, here I was. I couldn't go back to mechanical work because of my damaged left arm and whatnot. I had no professional training other than the mechanical work I had done. What can I do? I contacted the commanding officer of the European Command Intelligence Center, ECIC, which was headquartered in Oberursel, just outside of Frankfurt. 2 months later, I was on my way back to Germany in November '46. I was put in charge of a document center. At the document center, our function was primarily to get documents on the Russians, friendship with whom had sort of slowly disintegrated, let me put it this way. And of course, the other thing is even though the bigwigs at the Nuremberg trials had been disposed of already, there were still lesser criminals, and we still found a bunch of documents that basically would help us convict them. So that went on for almost 2 years. One interesting thing that I might mention here is, the way things were at ECIC or Camp King, we had a lot of the scientists that ended up in this country. We also had a lot of German military personnel there, some of them that were willing to cooperate with us, and of course some of them also were the old Nazis who wouldn't. I got orders to go to Fort Dix, the 9th Infantry Training Division, which was then. And there I became executive officer of a battalion in the 60th Infantry. I went out on a night maneuver on bivouac with units. It was a cold night. It was November, or was December even, of 1950. And my left arm freezes up. I can't even pull my pistol. They declared me unfit for military duty, and they recommended retirement. And I was retired for physical disability with 40% disability, which I'm carrying with me. That was the end of my military career. Now the next thing is, what do you do? I had taken the poultry courses at Rutgers, and I figured at one time or another I wasn't going to make the military my career. Well, there is a farm in New Egypt. I on the farm for almost 35 years, and starting from scratch with no chickens and room for 2,000, we ended up in the end with 45,000, capacity for 45,000 chickens. We had our own feed mill, we made our own feed. By the way, 6 tons of feed a day is what we used. And we had our own processing plant, we wholesaled all our eggs, and we did this successfully. And in fact, for a lot of years we were the major supplier at the Fort Dix Commissary, who used an awful lot of our so-called farm fresh nearby eggs, which was a good selling point for us, and kept us there without ever in all those years having had a single complaint.
After seeing Mr. Kaufman relate history as he lived it, one has to be impressed with his heroism, initiative, and patriotism. His life, his frightening experience in the concentration camp, to fighting in World War II, to his highly successful life as a farmer and businessman, this is all documented in his book, From Fright to Fight to Farm. It is available online right now at Amazon.com. The next Armed Forces Heritage Museum Living History serialization will feature the experiences of Howard Brooks, a Navy veteran who survived the sinking of the cruiser USS Houston early in the war, only to be captured by the Japanese and used as a slave laborer for over 3.5 years. It is a tale of perseverance and patriotism. Stand by for its release. It is an inspirational story.